From the mother's perspective, during the playoffs, when the game starts and they're up overhead and you're looking down at 21,000 people and they're all waving their towels and you see your son standing on the ice, is what most young boys playing hockey dream about, and he's made his dream come true, and ours. I remember, I think it was first couple of years of elementary school, the teacher telling me that Joshua was a leader. She said Joshua's the leader and all the other boys in the classroom seemed to follow him around. I think he always had a quiet confidence about him. I remember very early in minor hockey, Pat saying to me, I think Josh has something special.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make it.
You talked about your dad, your relationship with him. You call him after every game. What are those conversations like?
You know what? They're short. They're quick. It's usually just a quick call. I like to hear what he thought of the game. He's been like my coach since I was a kid, and he still is. He still tells me all the mistakes I made on the ice. You know, what was I thinking in situations?
Ever since he was a little guy, I've always said that once you get to that level, it's not over. There's one more step, because you're always going to learn something new every day.
No matter what was said, no matter how I played, even if he corrected me on everything, at the end of the conversation, it was, hey, you played well. I'm proud of you.
What is the story with the correct pronunciation of your last name? It's not technically Gorges?
We're German, and I think the proper pronunciation is Gorges, but I think it was also spelt different. I think there was an E in it before, and I think ever since we came over to Canada, they changed it, and as far as I've known, it's Gorges. I've always been called Gorges my whole life.
And the Kelowna Rockets have won the 2004 Memorial Cup. Josh Gorges accepting the Memorial Cup, John, in his hometown where he grew up.
Take me back to draft day weekend. What do you remember about that?
The Sunday when the rounds 3 through 8 or 9 or whatever it is go on. I remember sitting around the house just checking the computer every 20 minutes, half an hour to see if my name would pop up, and it was a long day because round after round came and I didn't see my name.
He took it to heart. He really did. And I think that made his drive all that stronger.
I just had to get out. I hopped in my truck and I just told my parents I'm going to go kind of vent, just be by myself for a bit. And no more than half an hour later, my dad called and told me to come back home because San Jose had called and they wanted to talk to me.
This kid plays hard. He's in the middle of everything. He seems like he gets hit every game hard. He's sacrificing, and that, I can tell you, really, really hurts.
Josh was fearless. There's probably nobody more fearless than Josh going back for a puck, and he took some licks because of it.
You know, they always said I was too small. I didn't get drafted in the NHL. The reasons being, from what I was told, was I was too small.
He needed to learn when he first came in the league that he wasn't a big man, and what he did well was move the puck well. He does a great first pass.
Whenever someone tells you that, you take it as a challenge.
When you were traded from San Jose to Montreal, did you see it coming?
I remember we came back from the road. It was a Sunday. It was a day off. And I got a phone call from Doug Wilson and asked me to come down and meet with him. And you don't ever get a phone call from the general manager, so I knew right away something was up, and your mind starts racing 100 miles an hour, and you won't sit down. And he told me I'd been traded. I think he talked for probably another 5-10 minutes, and I didn't hear a word that he said. And finally told me I was going to Montreal, and at first thought, I go, wow, this is a huge culture change. I'm going from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and 5 minutes, your whole life changes.
Where is it? Knocked loose by Gorges on Crosby, but Malkin takes it. It is out. It is out. Hello, there's it. Canadians are out.
The hero to me was Josh Gorges. Watch this guy play. Looks like Doug Harvey out there. This guy should be the captain. If you're ever going to have a captain, this guy is the captain.